everyone. Welcome back to the channel. And in today's lecture, we will have a detailed discussion of chapter 2, that is from hunting, gathering to growing food. So, first of all, we will just discuss or we'll just elaborate what does this title means. Chapter के नाम से हमें क्या पता चलता है? What does it says कि from hunting, gathering to growing food. मतलब इनिशियली बहुत पहले जो अर्ली ह्यूमंस थे उनका मेन काम क्या था? हंटिंग एंड गैदरिंग, राइट? एनिमल्स को हंट करना एंड गैदरिंग देम, और या फिर सम फॉरेस्ट प्रोड्यूस, राइट? तो इस तरह के काम करते थे. दे वर हंटर्स. सो ग्रेजुअली हाउ दे लर्नड टू ग्रो फूड. ओके, तो हंटिंग एंड गैदरिंग वाले काम से ग्रोइंग फूड वाले काम तक का जो जर्नी है, दिस इज व्हाट वी विल डिस्कस इन दिस चैप्टर. ओके, इट्स क्लियर, राइट? सो नाउ लेट्स बिगिन द चैप्टर. तो चैप्टर के वेरी शुरू में वी हैव तुषार्स ट्रेन जर्नी. तो इस स्टोरी में क्या होता है कि तुषार इज ट्रैवलिंग फ्रॉम दिल्ली टू चेन्नई. ओके, तो ऑन द वे his uncle tells him कि first we first used trains that was 150 years ago. Okay, and जो buses we are using, that has been used only few decades back, and decades means what? Like a period of 10 years is called a decade. Okay, तो ये बात सुन के तुषार was like wondering कि जब ट्रेन नहीं थे, बसेस नहीं थे, then how people used to travel, like कोई फास्ट मीन्स ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्ट नहीं था, then how people used to travel, like उन्हें तो पूरा लाइफ टाइम लग जाता होगा from in going from one place to another, isn't it? But was that so? Let's see in the chapter. मतलब कोई ट्रांसपोर्टेशन मेथड नहीं था तो लोग ट्रैवल भी करते थे कि नहीं करते थे? सिंस नहीं थे तो व्हाट विल गेस कि लोग ट्रैवल करते ही नहीं थे, एक जगह से दूसरी जगह जाते ही नहीं थे, बिकॉज दे डिडंट हैड एनी मींस, राइट? बट इन दिस चैप्टर विल सी दैट या दे यूज्ड टू मूव. एंड व्हाई दे यूज्ड टू मूव? ऐसे वैकेशन मनाने तो नहीं जाते थे, बट दे हैड देयर नेचुरल रीजंस टू मूव. ओके, तो दिस इज व्हाट विल डिस्कस नाउ. The first topic is what? The earliest people, why were they on move? Okay, so earliest people also used to move, although they didn't had transportation. Okay, fast means of transportation. तो जब उनके पास ट्रांसपोर्टेशन नहीं था, then why they used to take the pain? हाँ, इतना ट्रैवल करने का पेन क्यों लेते थे? They would have stayed at one place, isn't it? But no, they used to move. Why? Because they had their reasons. And what were the reasons? The reasons were कि सबसे पहले what? Okay, let's just read this one first. We know about people who lived in the subcontinent as early as 2 million years ago. तो हमारे हिस्ट्री का हमें 2 million years मतलब what we know is what? कि 2 million years से our history continues. Okay, मतलब हमारा हिस्ट्री 2 million years से चल रहा है. एंड लास्ट लेक्चर में मैंने ये सब कॉन्टिनेंट का मतलब एक्सप्लेन किया था, राइट? आई होप यू रिमेम्बर. Then today we describe them as hunter gatherers. तो 2 million पहले जो early humans थे तो उन्हें हम क्या कहते हैं? We describe them as hunter and gatherers. Why? Because they used to hunt animals and gather them for eating, right? So the name comes from the way in which they got their food. Okay, so generally they hunted wild animals, caught fish and birds, gathered fruits, roots, nuts, seeds, leaves, stalks and eggs. So these were the things जिसको वो लोग gather करते थे to feed themselves. Okay. Now, hunters and gatherers moved from place to place. Okay. They used to move from place to place. And what were the reasons? So the first reason was what? If they had stayed at one place for a long time, they would have eaten up all the available plant and animal resources. अगर वो लोग एक ही जगह पे रह रहे होते and खाना तो खा ही रहे होते, तो थोड़े समय के बाद all the animals, all the fruits in the plants सब कुछ खत्म हो जाता, right? So they have to choose another location. उनको दूसरी जगह जाना होता because their main aim was what? To feed themselves so that they are alive. बिना खाने के तो जिंदा रहेंगे नहीं. Okay. So they used to travel to different place in search of food. Therefore, they would have gone to elsewhere in search of food. So first reason was what? In search of food they used to move. And the second reason was what? Animals move from place to place, either in search of smaller prey or in case of deer and wild cattle in search of grass and leaves. So that is why those who hunted them had to follow their movements. Second reason was animals. तो जो animals थे, they also need water. I mean, they also need food, water, right? तो जो animals दूसरे animals को खाते थे, so they used to move in search of smaller prey. Prey means what? जिसको वो लोग खाएंगे, okay? तो they used to move in search of these prey, and uh, the grass-eating animals like deer and cattle, they used to move in search of grass and leaves. क्योंकि वो अगर एक जगह पे बहुत time रहेंगे, so they will also end up eating all the things. और सेकंड इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग क्या है कि जो अर्ली ह्यूमंस थे, दे वर व्हाट हंटर्स. तो और ये जो एनिमल्स है, डियर, वाइल्ड कैटल, दीज आरंट वेरी डेंजरस एनिमल्स. दिस कुड बी इजीली हंटेड. तो अगर एनिमल्स का मूवमेंट के हिसाब से लोगों को भी मूव करना होगा ना इन सर्च ऑफ दीज एनिमल्स सो दैट दे कैन हंट देम एंड ईट देम. तो जहाँ जहाँ डियर, कैटल्स ये लोग जाते थे, वहाँ वहाँ पीपल यूज टू फॉलो देम. ओके. The third reason is plants and uh, plants and trees bear fruit in different seasons, isn't it? Like in summer we have so many fruits like watermelon, mango, muskmelon, and lychee and all those stuff. Or winters maybe have different kind of fruit like oranges and all. Okay. तो डिफरेंट सीजन में डिफरेंट फ्रूट्स होते हैं. तो एक जगह पे मे बी डिफरेंट एक सीजन में कुछ फ्रूट्स ना होए, तो उनको दूसरी जगह जाना पड़ेगा इन सर्च ऑफ सम फ्रूट्स और नट्स, इजंट इट, और रूट्स, जो भी चीज वो लोग खाते थे. सो पीपल हैव टू मूव फ्रॉम सीजन टू सीजन, सीजन टू सीजन. ओके. नाउ द फोर्थ रीजन इज व्हाट? People, plants, and animals need water to survive. Okay, we all need water to survive, isn't it? And water is found in lakes, streams, and rivers. While many rivers and lakes are perennial, perennial means what? Those rivers or water sources which have water throughout the year. Okay, and others are seasonal. मतलब जिसमें rainy season में तो water होता है, but in hot summers वहाँ पे पानी सूख जाता है. Okay. So people living on their banks would have had to go in search of water during dry seasons. मतलब अगर किसी river का पानी सूख जाता है, so people have to move to different location जहाँ पे कि पानी available हो, isn't it? So these are the four main reasons why people used to travel in the past. Okay. So the next thing is what? How do we know about these people? इन लोगों के बारे में हमें पता कैसे चलता है? Okay. So archaeologists have found some of the things hunters and gatherers made and used. It is likely that people made and used tools of stone, wood, and bone, of which stone tools have survived the best. तो आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट जो हैं उन्हें कुछ ऐसे थिंग्स मिले हैं जिनसे ये प्रूफ होता है कि जो अर्ली ह्यूमंस थे वो क्या थे? हंटर्स एंड गैदरर्स थे. Like let's say if your parents are farmers, तो अगर आपके घर में जाऊंगी तो I will find ना some farming equipments like sickle and all, right? तो इससे I will understand that they are farmers. In the same way कुछ ऐसी चीजें मिली है आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट को जिनसे ये पता चलता है कि those people were hunters and gatherers. And what are those things? Like stone, sharp stones, bones, wood and all. Okay, like see, these are the tools. Things: stone, wood, and bone. Okay. So some of these stone tools were used to cut meat and bone. तो स्टोन टूल से क्या करते थे? मीट बोन को कट करते थे. स्क्रैप बार्क. एंड व्हाट इज स्क्रैपिंग बार? आई विल शो यू इमेज. सी, स्क्रैप बार. सो दिस इज व्हाट इज कॉल्ड स्क्रैपिंग बार्क. ओके. तो ये भी तो एक पॉइंटेड ऑब्जेक्ट से ही होगा, राइट? सो दैट इज द थिंग. ओके. एंड देन हाइड्स मीन्स व्हाट? एनिमल का स्किन. तो एनिमल के स्किन से व्हाट दे वर यूज्ड टू डू? क्लोथ्स. एक तरह से क्लोथ्स की जैसे यूज करते थे एनिमल के स्किन को. तो उसको भी कट करना होता था या फिर स्टिच करना होता था. सो व्हाट दे यूज्ड स्टोन टू डू those stuff. Okay. Then chop fruits and roots. Some may have been attached to handles of bone or wood to make spears and arrows for hunting. So spears and arrows are what? Weapons. Spears looks like this. Okay, I'll just show you the image. So this is how spears look like. See this pointed kind weapon जिससे कि वो लोग hunting करा करते थे. And you can see it is attached to a wood so that उसको they can handle it properly, मतलब उसको ढंग से पकड़ सके. Then other tools were used to chop wood which was used as firewood. Okay, so they cannot burn whole tree. I mean, tree को भी cut करने के लिए they need something sharp, right? So woods को भी cut करने के लिए they use stone. Wood was also used to make huts and tools. Okay. Now see this image. So this image is what left image is what digging the ground to collect edible roots. Edible roots means like we have no potato or beetroot. All this stuff are what मतलब वो underground में होता है. तो they use these sharp मतलब sharp means what ये देख रहे हो ना? This is sharp. तो sharp tools का इस्तेमाल करते थे so that they can dig dig the earth and get that out. और यहाँ पे what you are seeing, this is the animal hide and this is a sharp pointed stone. Okay, इससे क्या करते थे, they used to make a hole in the animal hides in the sense animal skin. और ये hole करने के बाद they used to attach two different hides to मतलब अभी जैसे stitching करते हैं with needle, तो our needle is what very pointed. तो एक needle actually makes a hole ना, although अभी हम लोग बहुत छोटा सा बहुत पतला सा इस्तेमाल करते हैं, we cannot see the hole, but in मतलब main concept तो यही है ना कि we make a hole and then pierce a thread. तो इसी तरह से they use these stones to make a hole और उसके बाद दो ऐसे hides को attach कर देते थे with a rope or anything. Okay. Now choosing a place to live in. अभी अभी हमने पढ़ा कि they were on move all the time because एक जगह पानी खत्म हो जाता था, खाना खत्म हो जाता था और दोस्त. So अभी उनको एक जगह क्यों चाहिए for living, right? So let's discuss this. Okay. Look at map 2 below. Okay. So all the places marked with red triangles are the sites. The sites are what the place where we find those remains of remains in the sense कि जो भी things है जैसे stone हुआ, bones हुआ, ये सारी चीजें जो जहाँ मिलते हैं या फिर buildings के remains, उन जगह को sites कहते हैं. From which archaeologists have found evidence of hunter-gatherers. Hunter-gatherers lived in many more places. Some of them are shown in the map. Many sites were located near water sources. Okay, we have discussed this in the first chapter why they used to live near water sources. Okay, such as rivers and lakes. Now let's look at the map. So this is the map, and here we can see what the places marked with this red triangle is Paleolithic site. Paleolithic we know na, we have discussed in an overview of this chapter. Means 2 million years से लेकर करीबन 12,000 years तक के period को क्या कहते हैं, Paleolithic site कहते हैं. तो where are these Paleolithic sites? These are Kurnool caves. Kurnool caves. Okay. Kurnool caves. यहाँ पे हमें क्या क्या मिला था? Ashes मिले थे, fire के traces मिले थे. Hangski. Then Bhimbetka, it's located in Madhya Pradesh. Then with this square, blue square, we have Neolithic sites. Neolithic sites are Bulzahom, Mehergarh, Koldiawa, Chiran. So these are the places, okay. Then comes what? Megalithic sites. Megalithic sites are what? From 12,000 to 10,000 के age period वाले को megalithic site कहते हैं. Then we have early villages. See, in Inam Gaon, we'll discuss in this chapter, I guess. Inam Gaon was the very early village. Apart from that, was there any other village? No. And this star means what? Modern cities. So, modern cities, we have Mumbai, we have Kolkata. So, this is in the map. Now, as stone tools were important, people tried to find places where good quality stone was easily available. We have seen ना कि stone उनके कितने काम आता था, like nearly सब कुछ में they use stone. तो वो लोग prefer करेंगे वहाँ रहना जहाँ पे कि easily proper अच्छे quality के stone available हो. So if we look at the map again, तो अगर ये भीमबेटका या फिर कुरनूल caves, so these are places where they could find stones very easily. So that is the reason they stayed there. What's here? Bhimbetka, that is in Madhya Pradesh. This is an old site with caves and rock shelters. People choose the natural caves because they provided shelter from rain, heat, and wind. These rock shelters are close to Narmada Valley. मतलब we can see ना कि सारे factors को देखते हुए they used to choose a place to live. Okay. एक तो कि उनको प्रॉपर वाटर मिले, दूसरा कि उनको जो वो लोग स्टोन्स का यूज करते हैं तो आसपास में प्रॉपर क्वालिटी के स्टोन्स भी मिले. ओके. Rock paintings and what they tell us. See how precisely, how well skilled painters they were. मतलब इसको देख के आपको क्या समझ में आता है? This is an animal, this is a human, and human is chasing the animal. इस तरह से कुछ समझ में आ रहा है, right? So many of the caves in which these early people lived have paintings on the wall. मतलब जिस भी caves में वो रहते थे, so they used to draw something. Okay. So some of the best examples are from Madhya Pradesh and southern Uttar Pradesh. These paintings show wild animals drawn with great accuracy and skill, isn't it? ये काफी हद तक एनिमल जैसा दिख रहा है, and this is also काफी हद तक ह्यूमन जैसा दिख रहा है, यानी कि they used to draw with great accuracy and skill. Okay, so अभी sites हमने discuss किया, तो what are sites? So here also they are explaining. So sites are the places where remains of things. Things means stones, tools, pots, building, etc. are found. So these are made, used and left behind by people. मतलब जो early लोग थे, वो जहाँ पे रहते थे, फिर वहाँ से because of any reason वहाँ पे रहना छोड़ दे, या फिर all of them passed away in any natural calamity or something. तो उस जगह को वो जगह या तो वी विल फाइंड बरीड अंडर अर्थ और ऑन द सरफेस ऑफ द अर्थ. और जब इस साइट्स के इस जगह के बारे में पता चलता है तो देन आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट गो एंड मतलब उसको प्रॉपर तरीके से देखते हैं कि एंड दे ट्राई टू फिगर आउट कि कितने साल पुराना जगह है, यहाँ पे लोग कैसे रहते थे, व्हाट जॉब दे यूज्ड टू डू, मतलब क्या काम करते थे, क्या खाते थे, कैसा घर बनाते थे, all those stuff they just figure out all those stuff. Okay. Now finding about fire. Find the Kurnool caves in map 2. अभी हमने देखा Kurnool caves that is located in this place is what? Andhra Pradesh, I guess. Yeah, Andhra Pradesh. So Kurnool caves is located in Andhra Pradesh. So we have found the traces of ash that was found here. Ash is what? That rock, right? Rock. So this suggests that people were familiar with use of fire. Fire could have been used for many things, as a source of light, to roast meat, and to scare away animals. Scare away मतलब animals को भगाने, डराने के लिए. The question is, why do we use fire today? So answer me, why do we use fire today? We use fire today for so many works, like of course cooking के लिए use करते हैं. Apart from that, electricity generate करने के लिए भी use कर रहे हैं, right? We heat coal to we burn coal to heat up water, उससे steam बनता है and then we get electricity. Okay, so there are many such uses. और light के लिए भी use करते हैं. And you also figure out the uses of fire. Okay. नेक्स्ट इज व्हाट नेम्स एंड डेट्स. अभी हम लोग वो पैलियोलिथिक न्यूलिथिक ये सब डिस्कस कर रहे थे, तो उसका डिटेल एक्सप्लेनेशन यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है. सो आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट हैव गिवन लेंथी नेम्स फॉर द टाइम व्हेन वी आर स्टडीइंग. ओके. दे कॉल द अर्लीस्ट पीरियड एज पैलियोलिथिक. दिस वर्ड कम्स फ्रॉम टू ग्रीक वर्ड्स, पैलियो which means old and lithos meaning stone. The name points to the importance of finds of stone. अभी अभी भी हमने पढ़ा था ना, stone was really important for them. So that so these litho मतलब उस पीरियड को इस तरह से नाम दिया गया that emphasizes the importance of stone, because we जो भी sites होते हैं वहाँ stone tools are the major things we find, isn't it? The Paleolithic period extends from 2 million years to about 12,000 years ago. मतलब it was such a long period of time. मतलब 2 million years से 12,000 साल मतलब 12,000 साल इतना लंबा पीरियड को हम लोग Paleolithic age कहते हैं. And this period is divided into lower, middle and upper Paleolithic. And this particular period, that is Paleolithic age, that covers 99% of human history. Isn't it? You can just see कि 2 million से 12,000 तक, this is such a long time. Next is what the period when we find environmental changes. मतलब environmental changes के बारे में हम अगले टॉपिक में बात करेंगे. So beginning about 12,000 years to about 10,000 years. तो ये जो 2,000 साल का जो पीरियड है, that is called what? Mesolithic age. That is middle stone age. And stone tools found during this period are generally tiny and are called microliths. Microliths means what? That tiny stones are called microlith. Micro means छोटा and lith means stone. So the name is self-explanatory, right? अपने आप explain कर रहे हैं कि what does this mean. So microliths were probably stuck onto handles or bones of wood to make tools such as saws and sickles. अभी we have seen ना there was a spears. तो ये तो although metal है but they used to make pointed things like this out of stone और ऐसे handles बनाते थे. Or saws and sickles, ना these are used in farming. I'll show you the image. Okay, I'll show you sickles. See, this is how sickles look like, and saw. Uh, well, they are not giving good image. You just Google it. Okay. Next is Neolithic age. तो Neolithic का क्या मतलब निकलेगा? Neo means what? New. And lithic means stone. So new storage. मतलब later period वाला जो storage है that is called Neolithic age. और इसका time period कब से कब है? 10,000 years से. Okay. तो क्या है कि 2 million से लेकर 12,000 तक जो है सो वी हैड पेलियोलिथिक एज. उसके बाद से 10,000 तक वी हैड मेसोलिथिक एज एंड देन 10,000 ऑनवर्ड्स वी हैव नियोलिथिक एज. और ये चेंजिंग इन्वायरमेंट यहाँ पे हमने पढ़ा था ना पीरियड व्हेन वी फाइंड इन्वायरमेंटल चेंजेस, तो वो यहाँ पे डिस्कस करा गया है. A changing environment. Around 12,000 years ago, there was a major change in the climate of the world. So suddenly there was a major change in the climate and थोड़े से जो climatic condition है वो warm हो गई. Okay. और जिसके चलते कि बहुत सारे एरियाज में डेवलपमेंट ऑफ ग्रासलैंड मतलब ग्रासलैंड बढ़ने लगी. और इसके चलते देयर वाज अ इंक्रीज इन नंबर ऑफ डियर, एंटीलोप, गोट, शीप एंड कैटल. मतलब जो भी ग्रास ईटिंग एनिमल्स थे उनके नंबर बढ़ गए. व्हाई? बिकॉज दीज एनिमल्स सर्वाइव्ड ऑन ग्रास और उनको प्रॉपर फूड खाने मिलने लगा. सो डेथ रेट बहुत कम गई. मतलब स्टार्वेशन से जो भूखे मर रहे थे जो एनिमल्स वो कम हो गई. एंड एट द सेम टाइम रिप्रोडक्शन इंक्रीज. So we had so many animals. Number of animals increased. So those who hunted these animals are now followed them. Isn't it? मतलब जहाँ पे animals जाएंगे वहाँ जो hunters gatherers है वो जाएंगे ना in search of the animals so that they can hunt and feed themselves. Okay. So इस तरह से they learned about their food habits and their breeding seasons. It is likely that this helped people to start thinking about herding and rearing these animals themselves. मतलब धीरे धीरे they started herding them. Herding in the sense, they, let's say कि you would have heard ना there is a big flock of sheep और एक आदमी है which is handling all those sheep. मतलब एक चरवाहा kind, understand ना उस तरह से. And fishing also became an important. Now हमने शुरू कहाँ से किया था? Hunting gathering से, and now we are beginning what? Farming and herding. This is what our chapter talked about now, the journey from being hunter gatherers to becoming farmers. So here we are beginning what? Farming and herding. So this was a time when several grain bearing grasses including wheat, barley and rice grew. अभी climatic conditions change हो गए हैं, so these were favorable for growing these all crops. Okay. So men and women and children probably collected these grains. तो जो भी लोग रहते थे, they used to collect these grains as food, and over period of time धीरे धीरे they learned how to grow them. And उन्हें सब कुछ समझ में आने लगा कि थोड़े दिन में दे मतलब वो पक जाते हैं, then we can eat it. इस तरह से plant करते हैं seeds को, इस तरह से उसका ख्याल रखते हैं, इस तरह से we water them, and all those farming stuff they learned gradually. तो इस सब इसके बाद they started growing their food on their own. और इस तरह से they became what? Farmers. So let's just highlight this highlight this. Okay. So in this way they became farmers. Next, people could also attract and then tame animals by leaving food for them near their shelters. So and अब क्या कर रहे हैं लोग? They are attracting the animals by giving them some food. Food in the sense जो farming करके things they are growing. Okay. So the first animals to be tamed was wild ancestor of the dog. मतलब dog was the first animal to be domesticated. Okay. And why dog though? Because dog is relatively gentle. मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा dangerous animal नहीं है. So they started to domesticate it. At the same time, dog has intelligence ना, वो आपकी commands को समझ नहीं लगता है. They also help in guarding their houses. So there were so many reasons why dog was domesticated first. Later, people encouraged animals that were relatively gentle. So जो animals gentle थे, like deer, sheep, dog, तो इस सबको they started domesticating to come near the camps where they lived. So these animals such as sheep, goat, cattle, and also pig lived in herds, and most of them ate grass. So people who protected these animals from attacks. So अब वो लोग जब these gentle animals को मतलब डोमेस्टिकेट कर रहे हैं, तो इट इज देयर ड्यूटी टू प्रोटेक्ट देम फ्रॉम वाइल्ड एनिमल्स, क्योंकि वाइल्ड एनिमल्स आएंगे, दे विल ईट देयर एनिमल्स, राइट, ईट दीज एनिमल्स बिकॉज दे आर जेंटल. दे विल नॉट फाइट, दे विल मतलब दे आर नॉट दैट स्ट्रॉन्ग ना. अभी कोई लॉयन टाइगर आके खा जाएगा इसको, isn't it? So they have to protect them also. So this is how they became herders. The question is, can you think of any reason why dog was perhaps the first animal to be tamed? तो अभी हमने डिस्कस करा ना, because dog was gentle, dog was intelligent, वो हमारी कमांड्स को धीरे धीरे समझने लगता है, and वो हमारे घर को भी गार्ड करता है, and these were some of the reasons why dog was the first animal to be tamed. Next topic is our domestication. So domestication is what? It is the name given to the process in which people grow plants and look after animals. तो अभी जो हमने इस सब टॉपिक में पढ़ा, तो दिस होल थिंग इज व्हाट नोन एज डोमेस्टिकेशन. मतलब प्लांट्स को ग्रो करना, एनिमल्स को की देखभाल करना, उसको डोमेस्टिकेट करना. So this whole process is domestication. Very often plants and animals that are tended by people become different from wild plants and animals. दिस इज बिकॉज पीपल सिलेक्ट प्लांट्स एंड एनिमल्स फॉर डोमेस्टिकेशन. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि पीपल किसी भी एनिमल्स को डोमेस्टिकेट कर लिया या फिर किसी भी प्लांट्स को ग्रो करने लगा. देयर वर सम ऑफ थिंग्स व्हिच दे लुक्ड आफ्टर. मतलब कुछ ऐसी चीजें थी जो फीचर्स अगर उस प्लांट या एनिमल्स में होते थे, देन ओनली दे यूज्ड टू ग्रो. फॉर एग्जांपल, दे सिलेक्ट दोज प्लांट्स एंड एनिमल्स दैट आर नॉट प्रोन टू डिजीजेस. मतलब वो उन्हीं प्लांट्स को ग्रो करते थे जो कि बहुत ज्यादा उसमें कीड़े नहीं लग रहे हो, या फिर मतलब प्रोन टू डिजीज इन द सेंस व्हाट प्लांट्स आल्सो हैव डिजीज, नो. सो दे यूज्ड टू टेक दोस प्लांट्स टू ग्रो दोस प्लांट्स जिसकी इम्यूनिटी अच्छी हो, व्हिच इज नॉट लाइक जिसमें कि प्रॉपर ईल्ड आए. ईल्ड इन द सेंस जो भी उग रहा है वो मतलब ज्यादा अमाउंट में आए. एंड दे आल्सो सिलेक्ट प्लांट्स that eat large size grain and have strong stalks. Stalks means what? Stalk, I'll show you here. Stalk is this part. Okay, so stalk is this part. And अगर ये strong नहीं हुआ, then these crops will lie down on the ground like this, हाँ. और इस तरह से उनका जो है सो प्रोड्यूस इन द सेंस जितना भी वो हार्वेस्ट करके ग्रेन्स को कलेक्ट करेंगे वो कम हो जाएगा. सो दे इस सब मतलब क्वालिटीज को देख के दे यूज टू ग्रो द क्रॉप्स. और क्या लास्ट क्या, कैपेबल ऑफ बियरिंग द वेट ऑफ द राइप ग्रेन. मतलब जब पेड़ में फल आ जाएंगे तो उसका वेट बढ़ जाएगा. तो वेट बढ़ जाएगा तो इतने स्ट्रांग होना चाहिए पेड़ की इट कैन अपहोल्ड इट, मतलब उसका वजन उठा सके, अदरवाइज तो पेड़ गिर जाएगा, इजंट इट. तो सीड्स फ्रॉम सिलेक्टेड प्लांट्स आर प्रिजर्व. मतलब जो प्लांट्स में ये सारे फीचर्स होते थे, कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स होते थे, उस सारे सीड्स को प्रिजर्व किया जाता था. And talking about animals, so they selected those animals those who were relatively gentle. उसको select करते थे. Okay. As a result, gradually domesticated animals and plants became different from wild animals and plants. तो obviously वो different हो जाएंगे क्योंकि wild animals are really wild ना, they are violent, they are dangerous, and the animals which we domesticate are very gentle, very मतलब innocent, decent, isn't it? तो दोनों में difference आ जाते हैं. And अगर plants की भी बात करें तो there are certain crops which we grow ourselves and there are certain wild plants. तो wild plants में तो we do not know कि कुछ ऐसे poisonous plants भी हो सकते हैं, लेकिन जो भी plants हम लोग grow करते हैं we are sure of it कि वो edible है, खाया जा सकता है. Now look at these both teeth. ये देखो कितना भयानक सा है, लगता है देख के ही लग रहा है it's very dangerous. And you see this is smaller one. So of course this is what a domesticated animal का teeth and this is what एक wild animal का teeth. So domestication was a gradual process that took place in many parts of the world. Began about 12,000 years ago. तो 12,000 years में क्या था, मेसोलिथिक एज चल रहा था, तो उस एज में ये सब हुआ. So virtually all plants and animal produce that we use as food today in search of domestication. Some of the earliest plants to be domesticated were wheat, barley. So these were the some of the earliest crops to be grown. And the animals which were domesticated initially were sheep, goat, and dog, of course. So we already lecture is getting too lengthy, so we'll start with the next topic, that is a new way of life, from the next lecture, part 2 of this chapter. Okay, so till then, just take your book and read itna tak padh ke rakhna. Okay, just read it. You will understand every little thing. I've tried to explain every single line. Okay, so thank you. Bye bye. Take care. Keep learning.